new brew today, brought to us by Mr. Beer. They were nice of us to send this to us in order to make this video. So thank you, Mr. Beer. All the people out there, very nice people to do business with. If you're just getting into home brewing, you want to get into extract brewing, highly suggest Mr. Beer for your first kit. They are great. Customer service is second to none. Anyway, we're going to open this up and get into our kit. This is called the Phil-hop-sophy Hazy IPA is what it's called. Phil-hop-sophy Hazy IPA. Packing slip here. I usually pull everything out and then double check with the packing slip, make sure everything's there, and then cross-reference that with the ingredient sheet that I get off of their website to make sure I have everything that I need. Alright, yeah, let's dig right into it. First thing I see here is our yeast, the regular St. Phil-hop-sophy. A bunch of hops here. We got Centennial, Cascade, Amarillo, and Nugget. So we've got 2 ounces of Centennial, 1 ounce of Cascade, 1 Amarillo, and 1 Nugget. There's a packet of their Brewmax No Rinse Cleanser, which is their sanitizer. They send you a packet of this with every recipe. We got our malt grains already crushed. This is Carapils malt. Bunch of muslin sacks here for hops and grains. It's another nice thing about Mr. Beer. They send you the sanitizer and all the grain sacks that you're gonna need for this recipe. We've got some liquid malt extract packages here. 3 of them. All the same. They are the Brewmax LME Soft Pack Pale by Mr. Beer. All 3 of them are the same. They look like that. And then last but not least, we have the big can. You can add this to boiling water and ferment it with yeast and you'll get good beer. This is the Long Play IPA. Again, I've heard good things about the Long Play IPA just by itself. You take this can, add it to boiling water with yeast, and you'll get beer. Actually, that's how a lot of people start off. You just get this can. There's a little underneath this lid. There's a little package of yeast. You boil water. You add the can to it, mix it up and dissolve it. Cool it down in your fermenter. Add the yeast packet, and in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you bottle it, and then another 2 weeks you've got beer. So that's how a lot of people get started. Anyway, that's the unboxing of it. I've got water heating up on the stove over there, getting ready to steep these malts. So I'm gonna get right into it. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, so the first step in this recipe really, once you get your water up to temperature, is to steep your grains. This is the Carapils malt that you just saw me take out of the box. It's nice and loose in there. There's lots of room for them to flow around and stuff.
This has got to steep for about 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get that in there now. Get the timer started here. I throw the lid on to keep the temperature in there, but really more so just to hold the rain sack right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of holding it in the pot so it doesn't get wet and I don't burn my fingers when I go to grab it later. Anyway, that's steeping. I got 30 minutes to go here on the steep. So real quick, I just wanted to talk about this recipe real quick. I already mentioned it's called the Phil-hop-sophy Hazy IPA. It is for fans of the Stone Ruination IPA, if you've ever had that. It's supposed to be similar to that. It's got a real hoppy flavor to it. We're shooting for an original gravity of 1.104, which is really high. Final gravity of 1.026, which is going to give us an alcohol by volume of about 10%. This is going to be a kicker. So anyway, I've been wanting to brew this one for a long time. Just for whatever reason, never got around to it. And Mr. Beer offered to send me a recipe if I did a video, and I chose Phil-hop-sophy Hazy IPA. Okay. 30-minute steep is over. It's now time to rinse our sack off. I just kind of hold it with a spoon. Dump the hot water out. Let it drain, and I usually just stick it right in here. Set it off to the side. Turn the heat up because we want to bring this up to a boil. This time I'm going to add this little packet of yeast that came underneath the can of extract. This is going to kill the yeast and add nutrients for the yeast that I add later on, the Safe Ale 05. So it's like a little yeast starter. The yeast will act as cannibals almost and eat this dead yeast from this packet, and it'll make them stronger and give them more nutrients to thrive on later on during fermentation. Trying to go ahead and boil this yeast. Other than that, yeah, I'll see you when it's time to add some hops. Alright, we have boiling water here. First hop addition is 1 ounce of nugget hops. I'm just going to cut those little strings off the bottom there. There we go. 1 ounce of nugget hops going in. That's going to go for 10 minutes, and then we're going to add some more hops. Okay, the 10-minute boil has passed on our nugget hop boil. Now it's time to add the next hops, which is actually 1 whole ounce of Centennial hops. So 1 ounce of Centennial, and then a 1/2 ounce of Amarillo, and a 1/2 ounce of Cascade. So that's 1 full packet of the Centennial, 1/2 a packet of Amarillo, and 1/2 a packet of Cascade. rest of your hops. They're going to be used for dry hopping. What I did was I sealed them up in a Ziploc bag and I stuck them in the freezer right here behind me. Yeah, again, in about 16 days we're going to dry hop it. So at this point, this can get dropped in. Again, that is 1 ounce Centennial, 1/2 ounce Amarillo, 1/2 ounce Cascade. Going in right now for 5 more minutes. I'm going to boil that for 5 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to get everything set up here to mix in the can and the liquid malt extract and get our fermenter set up ready to ferment. Okay, so we've reached the end of our boiling time now. So I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to take these hop sacks right out and put them right into my fermenter at this point, because they need to stay in the fermenter throughout the duration of fermentation. Go ahead and set them right in there. Gives me more room to do my stirring. So at this point we're going to add the can of Long Play IPA. Sorry that it's upside down, but that's just the way they make them. Okay, so now I've got 3 of these to do. 3 of them. Once you're satisfied and think it's nice and stirred up for you, you can go ahead and add that to your fermenter. Which, this fermenter already has 1 gallon of very cold water in it. So 1 gallon of cold water, then you add your hot liquid. You want to add your cold water first, because I've heard of people melting their fermenters when they add their boiling hot liquid. So anyway, we're gonna have to bring this up. Maybe about another 1/2 gallon to bring this up to where I need it to be. It is right here, which is also cold water. There we go, we're at the 2 gallon mark. Pop the lid on real quick just to keep it safe and sanitary. Turn it around so I can see my, oh, I don't have a thermometer. We'll have to change that. Okay, so our wort is at perfect temperature for pitching our yeast. Got my yeast in here, the Safe Ale 05, there it all is at the bottom there. My yeast starter. Just gonna decant this and get it ready to pitch. Just enough liquid in there to make it a slurry. So just swirl it up. You can kind of see on the bottom, it's not stuck to the bottom anymore. That's what you want. Before we dump the yeast in, we want to aerate the wort. Want to get the yeast a lot of oxygen to thrive off of. I found the best way to do that is with a whisk. I have this little plastic rainbow whisk. Works really well. Just whip it around as best you can. The goal is a lot of bubbles. Once you're confident you got enough air in there, go ahead and add your yeast. Throw your lid on, and there we have it. This brew day is over. All I gotta do is clean up. Again, I want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Beer for hooking us up with this recipe to do today. Again, 5-star chemical with our Star Sand, and Yakima Chief for our hops. Thanks to all those guys, and thank you to Brew Tours for just being awesome. So, yeah, that wraps up this brew day. I think it was 16 days into the fermentation. We have to dry hop with the remainder of our hops. That's that'll be another 1 ounce of Centennial, a 1/2 ounce of Amarillo, and a 1/2 ounce of Cascade that we're gonna dry hop with at 16 days, which is gonna be about 5 days before we bottle it. So, again, we're looking for an ABV of 10% on this one, so it's going to be pretty high. We had a starting ABV of 1.104, so that's the highest one I've ever done. Looking forward to this one. Again, looking forward to all of them, but anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope y'all have a good night, and come back around for when we taste this one, because it's gonna be a doozy. Good night, everybody.